Coming up as the Flames touch it, it appears like the Coyotes may be going back to man advantage here in the first period.
Energy line called twice for penalties tonight, and going to Kevin Westgarth. He's not real happy. The referee barking back and forth. Gets a tripping call. Right there they call the tripping as he gets the position in front. The referee seeing that the legs were all tied up.
Apologize for the technical difficulty. We hopefully have that glitch ironed out as the Coyotes now for the second time in the first period will go to the power play. Have scored in 8 consecutive games with a man advantage. That is a Phoenix record, not a franchise. Pardon me, it ties a Phoenix record. It is not a franchise record. Started off in Winnipeg many moons ago.
Boy, they had some pretty good power plays in Winnipeg with the Lights and Timo Solani, Dale Howardchuk.
Thomas Steen wasn't bad.
No, he was both defensively and offensively. He's such a great player. Paul McLean was a big sniper. Good coach of the Ottawa Senators now.
Cowboy Craig Levy? No?
No, not so much, no.
Great guy, though.
Great guy. Got a few points from the shots from the points. Got some goals.
Antoine Vermette trying to wind things up here for the Coyotes, and Yandle gets it. I think Yandle just got frustrated, Charlie, and wanted that puck in the Calgary end. Backlund swats it back out. A minute to go in this man advantage for the Coyotes so far. This go round not as effective as the first go round.
It's all about getting set up in that offensive zone. If you struggle to get set up, usually your power play struggles the rest of the way.
Korpikoski, Rundblad walks the line, switches spots with Stone. Rundblad finds Stone, and boy, can Mike Stone fire a puck. Didn't work there, but not surprising. They're trying to set him up for the one-timer. Calgary unable to get it out. Ribeiro back to Rundblad. Ribeiro goes to the top of the circle. Down low, little give and go. It's by Verbata, but kept in at the point. No, it's not. That one bounced and surprised Rundblad.
Flames a lot better with their active sticks here on this penalty kill. Knocking down passes, taking away passing lanes.
5 seconds to go in the minor to Westgarth. Ribeiro has the puck. Penalized player back out there, so Coyotes 0 for 2 with the power play here in the first period, trailing by 1. Shots 9-6. Coyotes out in front, but Sean Monahan picking up 14th of the year, and Calgary with a lead.
Radoslav Schmid just slowing things down. That allows Bob Hartley to get the line he wants out there after a second consecutive successful penalty kill.
Fans now involved in this game is urging their team on. Seems like their priority. Backlund has it taken away by Moss. Up to Russell. To Stempniak. Across the line, but McCulloch's the man with the puck. He'll play it off the glass and out. Now we got a foot race. Russell tries to swat it away from Shane Doan. Brought across the line by the Coyotes, but that is offside.
Calgary's known for the Flames and the Rockies. Let's take a look at what's happening at the Rockies' best resorts.
Phoenix giving up the first goal for only the 22nd time of the season, 23rd time I should say, in 50 games, and usually they are patient enough, they hang around long enough to get that first goal, and they make things happen after that, but not so far here tonight.
Joe Colburn with Monahan. Bob Hartley going with a hot hand. We've seen a lot of this line here in the first period. Gagliardi coming over, being physical, rubs his man out of the play. Butler back in his own end. Hard to get those bouncing pucks, but he managed to get a stick on it, and Calgary exit the zone. Here's Gagliardi across the blue line. His pass to Monahan. Russell was in the area, but nothing coming of that, and Ribeiro will play it off the glass. Lead pass onto the stick of Chipchura. Waits, gets some help. McCulloch shot up, and an easy one for Ramo as he hangs on to it.
That was a good save by Ramo, and it all started early in this game, especially in that first power play where Ramo came up with 3 or 4 very big key saves. Here's again a button hook we talked about. You see, if you take that time and space away from, you force them into doing things they don't want to do. Not a great high percentage scoring shot there, just because you take that time.
Kyle Ramos starting for the 9th time in the last 12 games for Calgary. Rabada along the boards as Kennedy has it. To get away from Stajan. Coyotes to McCulloch and a big stop from Ramo. Oh, a nice pad save from Kari Ramo as McCulloch really leaned into it.
See goal scorers see the net bigger than when you're on a run, and goaltenders, that net is so small for him, and that's what you're seeing tonight from Kari Ramo. Another big save on a broken play right here as he walks right into it. Good hard shot off the right pad, and blocker off to, as you can see the time clicking away, and that's get under a minute. You make a big save like that, that really can be a positive effect in the locker room.
First blush, I thought it was the pad, but it's the blocker. Now, is that perhaps an indication, Charlie, of just positional play, that he's getting to the right place at the right time?
Well, you take away the percentages. You take away and you cover as much of the net as you can, and hopefully that it hits you from a shot that close in as he walks in.
Korpikoski pestered on the play by Backlund. Yandel moves, bouncing puck, side of the net, comes out in front. Flames get a stick on it, and Stempniak to Hudler. Finds Giordano. Flames offside.
For a lot of offsides, we haven't really seen a lot of them this year. The timing is so close on plays like that. As the puck go across, woo, maybe not so offside at that point, as we see it right there across the line. And Stempniak had still had his right foot, his back foot on the line.
Monahan out to take the draw with Halpern.
Hey, everybody's human. Come on.
Hey, look, it's Mike Civic. You're welcome to go down and take it up with him. As far as I'm concerned, best in the league right there.
His height, he's looking from another time zone.
I absolutely agree. Halpern across the line, and guess what? It's offside.
Youngster really starting to, there he is, Mike Civic, Calgary guy. Skates with the alumni every once in a while, comes out and does the charity golf tournaments. Can he ever hit a golf ball?
That surprises me.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah. One of the true gentlemen in this game and a great storyteller. For whatever reason, you ever run into Mike Civic, tell some great stories.
This period brought to you by the redesigned 2014 Toyota Tundra. Tough enough for any project.
Check out the NHL week ahead on Sportsnet.ca to read reviews plus game previews and players to watch in the coming week. As the Flames come on the ice, we welcome a guy that everybody reads. Calgary Sun columnist Eric Francis and our Flames analyst TJ Gagliardi made quite a play on the opening goal of this hockey game. Something that the Flames really expected when they got him.
Yeah, Jay Feaster went out and got this guy because this team was going to be based largely on speed, and he was exactly what they needed in that regard, or so they thought. However, this year it hasn't worked out that well. Just 1 goal in 35 games, but right there is a great example of the speed they're looking for. Makes a nice pass. Monahan takes the lead in points on this team now, and it's all because of the play by Gagliardi. And by the way, you notice who he went around? That's Keith Yandel. You want to know why he's not on the U.S. team? Maybe that's an example of why.
Oh, well, you're on a bit of a roll, so let's continue with this. As we look at TJ Gagliardi, his teammate Matt Stajan has just signed a new contract. Now, there's people a little polarized about this here in Calgary. What do you think?
I think it's a great deal. You know, I mean, here's a dependable third-line center who could move up to the second line in a pinch, could also play the fourth line. So he's versatile, he's well-liked in that room, well-respected. I actually think the money makes a lot of sense, too. 3.1 a year is a little less than what he was making before. The cap is going to balloon over the next handful of years. Here's the thing, I talked to his agent. Year 4 of the deal, it's only a $2 million salary, and it's a $500,000 bonus that summer. So they did that so it'd be easy to trade in the summer if they want to do it, and if they feel like he's no longer necessary. But also, there's no more of those dreaded no-trade clauses that have kind of hurt this franchise for years. He's only got a limited no-trade clause. 10 teams every year he can give a list to that he'd go to. Makes it easy to trade him if they want to. So versatile contract-wise as well.
Well, there's some of the details on the deal with Matt Stajan. Rob and Charlie?
Stajan out there to begin the second period. Calgary up 1-0 as Sean Monahan picks up his 14th of the year. 2 power plays for the Coyotes. Unable to cash in on either. Kari Ramo was excellent in period number 1. Shot from McCulloch in traffic. And Korpikoski right on top of his fellow countryman. Ekman-Larsson played 11.5 minutes in the first period for Phoenix. That led all skaters. Right up the middle, Boma catches a piece of it, no icing. Ekman-Larsson in behind Mike Smith. Calgary making a change. Kennedy across the line. Dome shot just goes wide. Stempniak over. He'll tap it ahead. Hudler leaves it for Backlund onto the stick of Yuri Hudler. Butler dumping it in. Smith comes out and gets it. It bounces behind him. Smith just doesn't. There's something off tonight, Charlie. Is there, or do you see the same thing?
It's been struggling for a while for Mike Smith as far as his numbers, his wins and his losses. And I know he's won those 2 games recently, but he just, as you mentioned, doesn't seem to be the same confident goaltender that he was last year.
Those 2 wins, last 11 games, so they've come recently. Puck's bouncing around him, behind him here tonight. Gagliardi takes the puck away from Doan, back in his own end. Has a little help from Backlund. Out to center, Joe Colborne caught up in his feet. He backtracks a bit. Gagliardi chasing after it, won't come up with it. Now it's Ekman-Larsson still out there for the Coyotes.
Mentioned the minutes for Ekman-Larsson, almost 3 minutes on power play time in the 2 opportunities they had, so that'll add up to some big minutes.
Gagliardi's shot kicked out by Smith. Puck drops on a Colborne's stick over top of the net. His shot goes. Oh, Calgary with 2 really good chances in tight.
You'll see the intensity of Phoenix in front of their goaltender, also the sense of urgency for the rebounds, and that allows the Flames some opportunities at some bouncing pucks.
These 2 teams met here at the Dome back on December 4th. The Coyotes have played 21 games since then. They've only won 7 of them. They're on the outside looking in when it comes to a playoff spot. Still in the hunt. I don't want to paint them into a corner, but on the outside looking in.
Trailing Minnesota by 4 points. They do have a couple games in hand, this being one of them.
Chipchura as Stone will play it low. Halpern is there. Rattles around, ends up on the stick of Swartz. Shot in traffic. Ramos down and some digging. But Ramos got it.
This perfectly preserved uniform came to us via a generous donation from our champion's wife.
Pick your winners today with Pools.
Rob, we mentioned about Phoenix's offense from the blue lines, and it's been a slow grind for the Flames as you look at just 11 goals scored by anybody else other than Mark Giordano in the number of games. Brody 23, O'Brien 55, Schmid 40, and Dennis Wideman 14. Those are the key. Russell 9, that's not so bad, but those are the guys you have to count on. And earlier in the year, that's where they were getting some big time goals. Defensemen jumping up into play, getting that extra goal a game, which helped them in the win-loss column.
2 other defensemen have cashed in with overtime winners this year, Chris Russell and Chris Butler. Here's Jones. Shot goes wide behind the net, stage and fighting for it. Played off his stick. It bounces out to center. Russell. The trouble is it's a bouncing puck. Laid deep. Jeff Halpern's had a little zip in his step tonight for the Coyotes. He's out there. Boma waiting for it, but Halpern comes over. Chris Butler tipping it ahead, stage and trying to knock it off the glass. Working on Ekman-Larsson, turned away. Mikkel Boedker ahead. Vermette. Now Korpikoski finds the trailer, gets it back, shoots, and another blocker stop from Ramo. Pari Ramo having himself quite a night so far.
Anticipating so well, getting himself, as we mentioned with that blocker save in the end of the first period, into the right position. Puck starting to hit him.
It hits Lee Stempniak. Back to Backlund. Penalty coming up. Coyotes touch it, and the whistle goes. And it appears that the Flames will go to the power play for the first time in this hockey game.
Kailer Ramo with his 14th save of the night, and it was one of the best again. The Coyotes just being very composed, very calm as they go into the offensive zone. A give and go back to Korpikoski right here. Good hard shot. Rammel over very quickly with that blocker save. And a hooking call against Ekman Larsson, just reaching in on the hands of Michael Backlund. He was able to fight it off at that point and get a shot on net. But Smith had to come up with a nice left pad save.
Calgary goes on to the power play for the first time in this game. They did not have one on Monday against the Sharks. Fourth time this season that Calgary has failed to have a power play in a game. They had just 4 games over the previous 6 seasons in which they were unable to do that. So this year, at times struggling generating man advantages.
David Moss with a very aggressive forecheck on the penalty kill. Sends Hudler back to regroup.
Stempniak to Russell. Gains some ground. Goes back to the point. Hudler covering up. Passes it over. Giordano to Russell. Hard pass and bounces off Russell and by Hudler all the way down the ice.
When I played, I wish I could shoot that hard. It's a pass. And that's today's game with the technology, the stick, and the talents of these players. The practice that they have on those passes. It's amazing that they can pick them up.
Backlund trying to give it back to Stempniak. Dennis Wideman over to Brody. A minute to go in the power play. Stempniak being pestered by Stone. Plays it back to the point, but by Wideman. Flames will have to reboot the power play. Hudler finds David Jones. Jones trying to play it back in the middle. He does. It bounces around. Smith doesn't come up with it. Gets a little help from his defenseman Stone, and the Coyotes clear.
Very basic play there, getting the puck at the nets, and that's something on power plays early. Most coaches would like to see those shots a lot earlier in a power play.
Monahan finds Wideman with room. Wideman shoots. It goes off a stick. Bounces off the boards. Verbata gets it, knocks it out. Real good look for Wideman.
Taken away very quickly. He made the right move to get himself into a better position, and just that slight hesitation allowed enough time for Morris to get over and deflected it.
Ramo out to play it. Ekman Larsson back out on the ice. So Calgary 0 for 1 with the power play tonight. Pass intercepted at center by Bodker. Drives in, shoots. Ramo with another stop. Boma can't handle it. Doan with it, and he'll whip it back in. Brody onto the stick of Stajan. Gets it back. Stajan turns, finds Gagliardi. Nice play by Gagliardi, trying to get it out in front. Still with it. Protecting the puck, plays it back to the point. Giordano couldn't get it through the first time. The second time just misses. Ribeiro knocked down by Stajan, but he's back up and he has it. TJ Gagliardi's nice little jump in this game.
Skating is his game, and that's what they talked about right at the early part of the season, where he missed one game, got put back in, responded with a goal, and that seems to be the MO with him. Keeps those feet moving.
Puck shot wide behind the net. It comes to Ribeiro. Deflects to the corner. Waiting for Jiri Hudler. 40 points on the season for Hudler. He leads Calgary in that category. Backlund spins. Stempniak. He'll play it low. Pair of Swedish players, Ekman Larsson and Backlund, came together. And the puck comes to Chipchura. Across the line, looking for the return passes. Halpern. Chipchura gets it off the side of the net. Comes around, wraparound attempt. Boy, Chipchura got back to that puck very quickly. Had a great chance.
Plus it's on his forehand too, so he has that extra reach.
Kyle Chipchura plays it back to the point. Morris, that one's blocked by Gagliardi's stick, which it breaks. Yandel loses control. Backlund with it, and that's going to buy Gagliardi some time.
He will get a full line change for the Flames.
Just over 6 minutes without a whistle here in period number 2. Quick pace. Boma turned away. Vermette's pass by everybody, but Ekman Larsson in the area. He'll hover onto it and play it up to David Moss. Ekman Larsson dumping it in. He's going to the Olympics for Team Sweden, and boy, the Swedes have an impressive roster of young defensemen coming, don't they?
And rightly so. He should be there.
Here's a chance now. Boma in all alone, scores! Lance Boma, 2-0 Flames.
Well, how do you clear about 165 feet of this rink? One quick pass. TJ Gagliardi does a great job. Give and go back and forth. Heads up right here. Boma yells for it, and then he's off to the races. Getting pestered, getting a little bit of a hook, and then goes top shelf, glove side on Mike Smith. And this is the same side that he was favoring on that first period where he took that heavy shot. But Boma this time makes no mistake, gets it up and into the top of the net. Nice to see a nice reward for a guy that works so hard game in and game out.
Bob Hartley saying this week that Lance Boma's play with the puck has improved greatly as he gets a goal and Calgary up by 2. Coyotes trying to cut into that lead. Schmid leaning on his man. It comes to Moss. Halpern out in front, and it bounces back to the point. Doan is there. Stajan. As Schmid comes over, knocks his man down. Puck's free. Waiting for it, Moss. Out in front. And he caught a piece of it. Hoodler spun around. Weidman out for Calgary. He gains the line, trying to drop it back to Stajan, but it comes to Hoodler. Yuri Hoodler catches a man coming off the bench. Russell to Brian McGrattan, shot, and Smith freezes that. As Lance Boma picks up his 4th of the season and gives the Flames a 2-goal lead here in the second.
CHL Friday Night Hockey features an Ontario junior game. The Peterborough Petes visit the Oshawa Generals 5 p.m. Mountain on Sportsnet Pacific. Ontario and 1. Reminder, Canadian Pacific Goals for Kids is proudly sponsored by Canadian Pacific and its 2,700 railroaders based in Calgary. For every Flames goal this season, the Railway will donate $250 to Kidsport and the Flames Even Strength program. Goals by Flames help CP build stronger kids and stronger communities.
2-0 Calgary as Sean Monahan in the first period picked up his 14th of the year. Lance Boma here in the second, his 4th. And as the Who once said, the kids are all right. Blair Jones has it taken away as Morris got to it. Up to Verbata. Russell back to Jones. And the whistle goes. An offside call, and that gives us an opportunity to give you our next score and win winner, courtesy of Safeway and Purex Laundry Detergent. Murray Mortensen of Chestermere has won a Lagostina 10-piece stainless steel cookware set. Congratulations, Murray.
And for Lance Boma, so many good opportunities set up by hard work. Probably not the number of goals that he would expect from the number of opportunities he has, but that's, again, remember, these guys are still young as far as NHL experience.
Backlund will pick it up for Calgary. Gives it away. Chance in the slot. Ribeiro turned away on a block. The Flames, second best in the National Hockey League when it comes to blocking shots, continue to add to that total. Backlund, his shot goes wide. Stempniak, and it dribbles to the paint. Kept in by Russell. And that one flipped over the glass. Tried to play it, I think, off the glass and deep into the zone.
Michael Backlund trying to use the boards to get it to his teammate, and went, unfortunately for him, right there went to one of the most dangerous guys against the Flames, Ribeiro. You see Chris Butler getting down and right into a good shooting lane was Ribeiro as he faked and tried to open up a lane. And Chris Butler followed right with him.
Butler over 130 blocks this season. That's a new career high for him with lots of hockey left to be played. Came into the game 3rd in the National Hockey League in that category. Brody's shot goes wide. Colborne after. Sean Monahan. Up top, turns around. And back to pick it up, TJ Gagliardi. Morris, checked by Colborne. Good work by this line for the Flames to hem the Coyotes in. Brody goes back to the point. Thought Monahan was a little closer than he was, and the rookie comes back to get it for Calgary. Giordano Knocked down in the corner. Penalty coming up to the Coyotes. As Giordano dumped, Flames will go to the power play, up by 2 here in the second period. Mikkel Boedker in the penalty box for tripping as he got tied up with the Flames captain in the corner. So Calgary will go to their second power play of this game. All right, Charlie, who's this young man? 2003 Coyotes rookie camp picture. Who is that? You know that man? Does that look familiar at all?
That was a long time ago. He could have changed quite a bit since then.
That is a 19-year-old Mark Giordano who played in the preseason rookie tournament for the Phoenix Coyotes as a free agent. Went back to Owen Sound, was going to go to university and take accounting, but the next year signed with the Flames, a 3-way deal. And here he is tonight, the 19th captain in franchise history, playing his 418th game as a member of the Flames.
Turned out to be quite a player, quite a leader, and a great person.
Imagine him as a member of the Coyotes on their blue line. Here he is now on the Flame blue line. Comes back to Russell. To Giordano. Shot knocked away by Smith. Rebound over top of the net. Smith looked for it, couldn't find it. Defenseman does, and he'll dump it down the ice.
Yeah, I love that shot early in a power play. You know, everybody says, well, it has to be the perfect shot. It's not. No, you get it in there, you get it bouncing around, and then you get a penalty-killing team like Phoenix, who are very good and very dedicated to their game plan. You get them starting to run around.
Antoine Vermette has the puck in the Calgary zone. He scored the first Phoenix shorthanded goal Monday in that loss to Toronto. Till that point, they had yet to find the back of the net while killing a penalty. And they have it now. Korpikoski to Vermette. Scores! Another shorthanded marker for Vermette.
Well, had a lot of heat on that shot. A perfect setup, and Flames in the middle of a line change on the power play wasn't happening the number 1 unit. And that's, again, you still have to be very quick to get yourself back on the ice there. The Flames just coming on the ice, kind of casual. Nice little setup there, and there's the shot. Unfortunately set up by a partial screen right there as Chris Russell just trying to get out of the way of that one. It was an unassuming play to start with, but when Vermette let that go, he let it go with everything.
And we've seen for Calgary this year, shorthanded goals coming in bunches. Well, now it's happening for Phoenix. They didn't have one starting on Monday night. Now they have 2 in as many games. Vermette with both of them, and the Coyotes now within 1. Calgary still has time on this power play. 30 seconds to go as it's shot down the ice. So Vermette, 15th goal of the year, now leads the Coyotes in that category. 3 players tied coming into tonight's game with the lead. Jones after it to Brody. Gagliardi bumps with McCulloch behind the net. Jones going to take the puck away from Ekman Larsson, and it's shot out, and that will do it. Boedker back out, so a shorthanded goal from Phoenix. Calgary 0 for 2 with the power play, and the Coyotes back in this game.
We'll have to make sure that this doesn't turn into a momentum changer for Phoenix.
Shot by Stempniak, and that one hung on to by Smith. Charlie, you look at the Flames special teams since the start of the new year, the last 10 games, and this is where they were and this is where they are. They're dropping.
You expected the 26th overall for power play just because they're a younger team. Penalty killing was pretty decent, but the last 10 they've really struggled, and then I think you just have to go look at the 1-loss record and the type of games and how they've lost for the indication of the power play, which will really struggle. But the surprising thing would be the penalty kill.
Stempniak with a good scoring chance. So the Flames give up a shorthanded goal and now have had a couple of really good scoring opportunities. Need to cash in to regain that 2-goal lead. Giordano ahead to Stempniak. His pass behind Butler. Off the glass, Flames clear. Hudler looking for it. Kennedy comes over, but it is Jiri Hudler with it. Now Yandel gets tied up with his teammate. Giordano shoots, and it's off the blocker of Smith. He didn't see where it went. Calgary have it. Stempniak. Down low, Hudler waiting behind the net. Boedker comes over as Hudler tried to play it back to the point. Now a stretch pass was taken away by Butler. I think it was just a soft pass, actually. They were looking for Doan, who had snuck in behind the Flames defenseman. Calgary up by 1 in the late stages of the second period. It's TELUS Flames hockey.
Now it's time to live the game with Windows. We direct you to NHL.com and the Central Scouting midterm rankings of North American skaters. Why is this important? Well, if you're a Calgary Flame fan, one of those 9 names might be a Flame as of June, including Jake Virtanen of the Calgary Hitmen. The 9 top skaters in North America, who knows, they might be a Flame sometime. Live the game with Windows.
Calgary out shooting the Coyotes here in the second period by a 12-7 margin. Both teams with a goal in the second, but Calgary had one from Monahan in the first, so they lead. Rundblad, lead pass, looking for Chipchura by him. It's going to be an icing call.
Well, this is where we mentioned in the Budweiser keys the game to be patient. It has to be very frustrating right now, giving up that shorthanded effort after being up 2-0. And that's what Phoenix is so good at. They're so good at sitting back and keeping themselves involved in the game, close enough that they can strike and be successful. So the Flames still continue with your game plan. Go with what you've been doing and keep that energy level up high.
Gagliardi's shot turned away by Smith. Rebound gobbled up. Bill Colborne right on the doorstep.
That's 4 or 5 great saves by Smith here in the second period.
Monahan's line continues to be very offensive. Scored in the first period and had some good scoring chances here in the second. Colborne part of that line, and he'll play it out. Rundblad back to pick it up.
Colborne still looking game in and game out, a lot more comfortable on the wing. And that's going to be a big plus for the Flames.
Gary Hoodler gets it. Smith waiting for it, but he's just going to leave it for his defenseman. Backlund was there, but it's Chipchura leading the rush, dumping it in for the Coyotes, still with it. Coyotes making a line change. Chipchura taking off the puck. Calgary get it back. Giordano to Hoodler. His tip knocked down. Vermette, the goal scorer for Phoenix, finds Bodker. Into the net. That one goes off Ramo and up into the mesh. Face off. Looks like it's going to come outside.
Pro Hockey Life, the ultimate hockey megastore.
We'd like to remind you Safeway's featured participating product for tonight's game is Purex Laundry Detergent.
It did go off a Flames stick, so it will stay inside the Flames' end as Vermette battling Stajan in the face-off circle. Calgary come up with it. Calgary have been very good tonight on the face-offs. Coyotes 4th best in the National Hockey League coming into this contest. Bodker dropping it. Jones is there, tips it away. Mark Giordano with Jones. 3-on-2 Calgary. Jones to Giordano. Trailing up stage and shoots, scores!
Defenseman jumping up in the play. Mark Giordano creates an opening. A little bit of a late pass from Jones to him. He wanted to get it right away, but it starts off defensively as Jones picks it up here. Giordano picks it up. And right about here, he wants to pass on a drop pass for a one-timer. It goes off of him, and this is every player's dream. Right there, top of the face-off circle, just sitting there, and you're walking right into it. And that's exactly what Matt Stajan does. As the traffic forms up in front of Smith, and he doesn't see it at all.
Smith doesn't even move till it's past him. And the Flames regain that 2-goal lead. Stajan, his 8th. As the puck flipped up, and another whistle. And Shane Doan arguing that the Flames played it up without touching anything and looking for the minor. Why wouldn't you make that argument?
And taking advantage as they get taking it right out. Matt Stajan gets his 8th of the year. And right here, Giordano wants it right there. He's not going to get it. And then there's the break for Stajan, and he just wired it. Boma in front. Smith, I don't know if he saw it or he's just trying to get out of the way. It was moving. And that's a big goal. And that's, again, staying patient with your game and not giving up another goal against.
It's like putting it on that tee box. What's the tee box I use when I golf with you? The white ones?
The forward ones.
The forward ones. That's just put it up on the forward tee box.
Politically correct.
Right.
Forward ones.
Okay.
Downhill, downwind.
Puck shot in by the Coyotes. After it is Kennedy. That one played through the crease. It comes back to the point. Ekman-Larsson waiting. His pass by Kennedy. Bouncing around. Schmid looking for it. Comes out in front. Colborne has it. Finds an opening. And he'll relieve the pressure. Calgary now out shooting the Coyotes 21-19 in the hockey game. Phoenix outshot Calgary 11-6 in the first. So a real strong push by Calgary in the second period. Wideman avoids the check but loses the puck. Ribeiro, ever dangerous against the Flames, gains the line, still with it, finds the trailer. Morris goes wide. Ramo makes the save but can't hang on to it. Sneaky play by Ribeiro, tried to poke it in from behind the net after it dropped right on his stick. Ribeiro back to the point. Morris loads up, back to Ribeiro. Morris's shot, and Ramo has this one. He makes sure, though, takes a look, and he'll freeze it. We have our third score and win contest winner this evening. By swiping a free club card, Dorothy Mitchell of Calgary's won a $250 gift card from Visions Electronics, courtesy of Safeway and Purex laundry detergent.
Matt Stajan coming on now as a defensive player to take the face-off. You mentioned face-offs. Flames about 55% in that first period. Stajan gets ushered out. Lance Boma comes in to take the face-off. And it's not just the centerman taking face-offs in practice, every practice and every game day. Some of the wingers coming in just for situations like that.
Swartz behind the net. His pass right onto the stick of David Jones. Stajan finds Boma. Crashes across the line. Puck rolls to Smith. He'll swat it to the corner. Eric Morris, originally drafted by the Calgary Flames back in 1996 in the first round. He plays it out. Swartz shoots off the blocker of Ramo. Tip back to the point. Yandel just dumps it to an empty corner. Russell gets to it ahead to Boma. Swartz across the line. Knocks down his man, but Russell has the puck. Plays it to an open wing, tipped out by David Jones. Ekman-Larsson grabs it, plays it to McCulloch. Rimmed right back into the Calgary end. Vermette waiting on it. He's battling Chris Butler. Off the boards, Korpikoski couldn't handle it, but Vermette gets it back. Korpikoski. He drags it up towards the blue line, now at the blue line. Bodker. Bounce pass to McCulloch in traffic, and Ramo right there at the top of his crease, hanging on to it, and he gets a front row seat at a little confrontation as Chris Butler and Bodker mix it up. Now this guy, you talk about roots, we talk about the Sutters here, you know, the Stalls in Thunder Bay. How about the Ekman-Larssons over in Sweden? Take a look at this.
Playing in elite hockey over in Sweden. His grandfather played 21 years as a pro. His father Patrick in Division II. Brothers, two brothers, three cousins, two uncles, and one great uncle playing. But there's only one playing in the NHL.
There's only one playing in the NHL, yeah.
And I'll tell you what, there isn't a GM in this league that wouldn't want to have this young defenseman on their team. And just 22 years old. He's played 226 career games already in the National Hockey League and just eating up valuable minutes on every aspect of the game.
Vermette in front, and coming around was Korpikoski, but he lost the handle. Vermette all alone in the slot, but Calgary comes up with the puck. Lead pass ahead. Hoodler onto the stick of Giordano, who jumped up into the rush. Boy, the Flames are really activating that fourth man on the rush, aren't they?
And that's important. We saw that earlier in the year. We saw the graphic of the defensemen that have been struggling offensively, and that's when you're not getting goals. You have that extra threat coming from defensemen, especially guys like Mark Giordano, Russell, Brody, who skate so well. Smith
sets it up. Less than 20 seconds to go here in the second period. There's Ribeiro across the line, facing 5 Flames. Stajan takes it away, and he gets it out. Yandle turns, and Coyotes one last dash up the ice. Ribeiro trying to play it to Yandle, but Flames got in the way. Calgary leading Phoenix through 40 by a 3-1 score. Take a break. When we come back, the trade track will focus in on Brad Boyes, so stay tuned.
This Flames hockey's back in 48 hours as the Flames host the Nashville Predators Friday night, 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Please note that telecast is on Sportsnet Flames channel at the same time on Sportsnet West. Oilers hockey sees Edmonton playing host to these Phoenix Coyotes, both Alberta teams in action at the same time Friday night on Sportsnet. Right now on Sportsnet is this gentleman, Mr. Eric Francis. Well, moments ago, I talked to Lance Boma, who got his 4th of the season. You know, no one works harder on this team. He doesn't have a lot of luck around the net. It was nice for him to score, but he has certainly proven to be a guy that the Flames would be. He'll be a keeper for a long time.
Yeah, I think so. I think that fans in general, and I think the organization, were hoping for a little bit more from him this year, where he'd be a bit more of a difference maker. But he is having a whale of a game tonight, the kind of game that they were hoping they'd see more and more of. And hopefully down the stretch, you will see this. Obviously a guy who kills penalties and plays good defense, but look at those hands. Look at that great pass to David Jones. That's from the first period. In the second period here, you see some great examples of the hustle while killing penalties. But tonight he's also chipping in offensively. And look at this play here. This is a great pass. You can't see him exactly collected off the boards, but anyone who's played the game knows how hard it is to corral that pass. And then a goal scorer's goal. He snipes it right in. And there he is causing traffic on the Matt Stajan goal. So doing it all tonight, that's what they want from Lance Boma. He's not going to sell a lot of tickets, but he can make a difference on a lot of nights.
He can help you win on a lot of nights, that's for sure. Kari Ramo has made a number of big saves. I think, Eric, he's established himself now. It's pretty well safe to say he gets the bulk of the games. He's the #1 guy, and he's earned it.
He sure has, and he's having a good game tonight. He stopped 23 of the 24 shots, and you cannot fault him on the goal. That was an absolute cannon from pretty close in, and Chris Russell was screening him as well. But just making save after save tonight. And I think that the most interesting of all the additions that are going to go on from now till the end of the year is going to be between the pipes. I think you're right. Kari Ramo is the guy right now. Reto Berra has been showing some signs of some good play, but I just want to remind everybody, Yanni Ortio is 17-4 right now in Abbotsford, having a great season. He is going to push whoever is the backup at the end of this season. Don't be surprised if you see Ortio soon, and don't be surprised if Ramo is the one who cements the starting gig from now to the end of the year. Now, he's signed for 1 more year. Berra is not. So this is going to be an interesting decision down the stretch.
Well, there's a lot of theories out there that suggest that Ortio may play the whole year in the AHL. A lot of teams like to do that. Give him that year of grooming.
Yeah, they also think that he may want to get a taste up here. I think it also depends a lot on Reto Berra. If he really starts to struggle down the stretch, then there's every reason in the world to give Reto Berra a rest and give Ortio a shot at the NHL, even if it's just for a couple games.
All right, thanks, Eric. Set for period number 3. Rob and Charlie, take it away.
Well, let's take a look back at what's happened so far. The scoring summary is brought to you by Panago Pizza. Before, during, or after the game, get a fresh Panago.
The kid, Sean Monahan, his 14th of the year from Gagliardi in Cobourg in the first period. Lance Boma, nice shot top shelf from Brody and Ramo, his 4th of the year. Antoine Vermette gets a shorthanded goal, a second shorthanded goal in as many games before Matt Stajan gets it back to a 2-goal lead. David Jones, Mark Giordano with the assists. Talked about the play of Ramo and how good he was this game so far.
Mark Giordano. I want to ask you a question, Charlie. About, no surprise that he's gotten more and more ice time. He's now 11th in the National Hockey League coming into tonight in terms of the amount he plays per game. And you look at his career, but the one thing that jumps out at me is the shift length. Everything else seems to change, but the shift length doesn't. Now, is that discipline from the player? Is that his limit? How would you describe that?
I think it's not his limit. He's such a well-conditioned athlete. I think that's just the discipline he has. So the shift lengths have stayed the same. The biggest number is the number of shifts that he's taking now because of the responsibility he has, not only as a captain, but he's a catalyst back there both defensively and offensively.
Starting the third period, the Flames with a 3-1 lead. And no doubt this has been somewhat of a difficult time for the Flames at home of late, having lost a franchise-worst 7 straight in regulation. And it's important, the final 20 miles, every coach will tell you that. As the Coyotes again in the offensive zone. Ramo trying to cover it. It's squeezed by him, picked up by Yuri Hudler. He'll flip it through the air.
Definitely this is where their confidence has to be at their highest. They can't afford to sit back and be too tight defensively, and that just allows Phoenix to come at them a lot quicker and a lot more often.
Boma down the left side, shoots, and Smith makes the save. Rebound to Stajan. They play it back out in front, knocked away by Kennedy. Boma tied up behind the net, gets it back. Nice pass from David Jones. The cycle going as Stajan will leave it for Jones. Speed on it, and Kennedy gets it out to Doan. Moss across the line, drops it, shot, Doan, and that one's turned away by Ramo. Boma gets it back for Calgary. Quick pass is Doan running into Boma. A little bump there for the youngster. Ribeiro working one-on-one with Weidman. Doan still on the ice. Blocked off. Schmid gets it to Weidman. Now Colborne one-hands it out. And Rundblad back to pick it up for the Coyotes. Has some pressure in the form of TJ Gagliardi. Good game for Gagliardi so far. As Ribeiro has it taken away by Monahan. What a play by the rookie. To Gagliardi. Back over Monahan looking for it, but Ekman Larsson had body position and took Monahan out of the play. Ladislav Schmid ahead. Colborne to Monahan. He opened the scoring for Calgary in the first period with his 14th. He now leads the Calgary Flames in goals.
Much better improvement here in the second or third shift of this period. The Flames starting to skate. Mentioned that back pressure by Monahan.
Swartz saw a little bit of Giordano. Now Chipchura in as Swartz goes and picks it up. Yandel off the bench into the party. Still with it. Chipchura gets it low. Swartz has it knocked away, and Blair Jones will step into it.
It's like a hand pass against Phoenix. The Flames get a break, and talk about the great rotation down low by the Flames. Right here, Jones loses it as both Boma and Stajan are caught down deep, and there's that late trailer, Shane Doan, who breaks off the wall. One guy goes hard to the net, and there's a good hard shot and a good save by Ramos. So it's so important on the deep low rotation offensively that you have to have that third man high if you lose possession of the puck.
Mark Giordano hard off the boards, but it's Yandel who has the puck. Keith Yandel in danger of having his 4-game point streak coming to an end. Brody will just slip in behind Kari Ramo. Now Mark Giordano off the boards ahead by Stempniak. No icing. Smith out of the net. Bodker ahead for Phoenix. Has Korpikoski and Vermette. It's Vermette shooting it, and Ramo has it. Face full of Bodker, and Butler over to make sure there's no shenanigans.
Intact Insurance is proud to sponsor the Calgary Flames and all the fans who carry a torch for them. Intact Insurance, your back.
Shop and swipe your club card at Safeway today. You could be our next lucky winner. Watch future Sportsnet telecasts. You could win a week of unlimited luxury at Dreams Resorts and Spas, courtesy of redtag.ca.
McCulloch shot off Boma. Picked up by Moss. Now Jones has it. Boma gaining the line, trying to play it back. Ekman Larsson has the puck. Takes a bump from Big David Jones in the corner. Boma waiting for it, but a nice play by McCulloch. Slips it ahead. Doan has it. Crisscrossing with Moss. Doan goes wide now behind the net. His shot redirected at the a little help, and he'll swat it to the blue line and brought back in offside. So the Coyotes have to clear as Joe Colborne has the puck.
Really trying to put on a lot of pressure, especially here early in this period.
Colborne knocked down at the blue line. Chipchura caught a shoulder, sent his man flying. Kyle Chipchura has been very noticeable for the Coyotes in this game. He's had a lot of pep. Chipchura tied up behind the net. Back to the point. Rundblad. Ekman Larsson, his shot goes off a flame and into the crowd, and it's Brian McGrattan. That one stung the big guy.
Getting in the shooting lane, everybody's responsibility. Ekman Larsson with that shot goes off the inside of the foot of Brian McGrattan, and down he goes. Fortunately ends up over the glass, so not all in vain, that pain.
Not unlike Paul Byron, though, in San Jose on Monday, right? Turn the inside in.
Well, it's so difficult to stay exactly in the shooting lane because the defensemen are so good in today's game of moving laterally that you have to make that adjustment. And when you do that, your feet turn, and that's exactly what happened to Brian McGrattan.
Flames trying to gain the offensive zone, but they bring it in offside. As Backlund, Stempniak, and Hudler out there for Calgary. Michael Backlund. Strong play continues.
Strong play, not getting the offensive numbers that he had early in spells. And again, that's young at heart, young in the National Hockey League, and that's where you work hard and you take steps. Sometimes it's a baby step. I think it was a big step for Michael Backlund as far as realizing that he's one of the leaders of this team, especially up the center ice for the years to come, and he's adjusted with it and he's taken advantage of it.
Backlund intercepts it, and now a 2-on-1 possibly for Calgary. Stempniak with Hudler. Yuri Hudler, and he couldn't quite get a handle on the pass. Bodker back to help out. Here comes Korpikoski. It's the Flames line. Bodker has it skip over his stick. Giordano scrambles to get it around the boards. Rundblad is there. Turns. Finds Korpikoski looking for some room. Yandel, same thing, trying to find a lane. In front, it goes off. A Backlund skate. Hudler couldn't get it out. Yuri Hudler, another opportunity to clear the zone, does. And Calgary making a few changes up front. Doan trying to sneak away from Hudler, but TJ Brodie came over, knocked down by Doan. Is Shane Doan going to take a shift off ever?
Big bite and big heart in that dog for sure.
Oh! Longest serving captain in the National Hockey League, Shane Doan, and he always seems to have his A game against Calgary.
It's that style, that physical style, if he's allowed to play it. He skates well for a big man, and he's really had himself a
goal. He has himself a goal.
A goal.
And the Coyotes are back in it.
And he leads by example. You look at Mark Giordano, Shane Doan, same type of player. This time, Doan coming off the off wing, a little bit of a stutter step in the face-off circle, and move to the right, which is to the center of the ice, which gives him a little bit better angle. And with a snapshot, he beats Kari Ramo with a great shot right here. It's the perfect shot. Off wing, kick it up, little stutter step to the middle, and just snapped it. And Kari Ramo, I think, was caught by surprise of the quickness of that shot as he puts it through Chris Butler.
So all of a sudden this game has a completely different tone to it as Shane Doan picks up his 14th of the year. Swartz shot over top of the net. Halpern kicking it behind the Flame goal. Swartz is there, takes a bump from Schmid. Chipchura digging it free. Now the puck comes back up. Halpern shot blocked. McGrattan back out on the ice after he blocked a shot a couple of shifts ago. Looking for Kevin Westgarth, but taken away by Ekman Larsson. Chipchura away from Jones. This goes off a body. Schmid golfs it back out into the neutral zone, and it's picked up by Yandel. Hard pass off the boards for Verbata. Loads up. That one hits Giordano on the ankle. Sean Monahan ahead. Played out by Calgary. Now we got a race for it. Colborne trying to get back. Morris will be there first. Colborne still on Morris. Monahan takes it away. Calgary get it back. And the pass never got to Gagliardi. Brodie in the offensive zone. Back to TJ Gagliardi. Back to Brodie. Traffic in front, and seeing it all the way was Smith, and Doan finishing his check. as he goes after Brody. The Coyotes get one from their captain. They're within striking distance here in the third period. It's TELUS Flames Hockey.
In the latest issue of Sportsnet magazine, we give you 5 things that need to happen for Canada to repeat as Olympic hockey champions. Subscribe today at www.sportsnet.ca/magazine. And a reminder, Calgary Roughnecks take on the Colorado Mammoths Saturday in the annual Pete the Plumber's Superhero Game. Cash prizes will be awarded to the best-dressed superheroes. For more information on how you get in on the fun, visit CalgaryRoughnecks.com or call 403-777-4646.
Doan from Yandel and Ribeiro here in the third period, and the Coyotes back within 1. Jiri Hudler behind the Phoenix net. Goes back to the point. Giordano shoots, and Smith grabs that one. He'll hang on.
Much better shift here for the Calgary Flames. And it's so hard when you haven't had the offense and when you're struggling to get wins at home that you don't fall back and be too overly defensive, which allows the team to come back at you. Here, a good aggressive forecheck sets up a shot on net. Lee Stempniak, who's played the most minutes of anybody in tonight's game through 2 periods, fights to the front of the net.
Flames keep it in. It bounces to Ekman Larsson. Tip to the line, and Lee Stempniak on it for Calgary. Goes wide, goes to the net. Smith swats it away, comes to Giordano looking for room, and Butker broke that up. Ekman Larsson finds Vermette, tipping it in. Behind Giordano, looking over his shoulder, trying to find the forward. Korpikoski knocking Backlund's clearing attempt away. Now the Flames get it to the line. Hudler spots Giordano. The veteran Lee Stempniak, who played 100 games over the course of 2 seasons for the Coyotes, tips it in. He heads off. McCulloch. Butler picks up the entry and gives it right back out to Boma. Calgary cross ice. Here's Jones. Shoots a hard one, just missed. David Jones can shoot coming off that wing. Here's Verbata. His shot blockered away. Yandel jumps on it. Flutters one in. Ramo got the leg out. Knocked it behind the net. Morris plays it back deep. Butler trying to tie up Ribeiro. Pokes the puck out to the blue line. But Morris has it. His pass right onto the stick of Butler. And the Flames clear it out, needing to make a line change.
Yeah, no, very innocent looking shot on a third attempt. It sets up a good scramble for Phoenix, who control the puck for a couple 20-25 seconds in that last shift.
Coyotes now dominating the shot clock. 30-24. They've outshot Calgary 6-3 here in the third period, but an icing call.
This is a replica of the remote that inspired the big win. The original was tragically lost in a couch.
Pick your winners today with Pools.
Dave Tippett will be bewildered at his club, especially the month of January. He knew his club has to stay with the other teams vying for the playoffs, and it's not just making the playoffs for Dave Tippett or the Phoenix Coyotes. It's about how far and how deep you can go into the playoffs.
Kennedy can't get it in front, still has it. Knocked out of the air, but Ekman Larsson at the blue line finds Moss. Turns around, and Ramo got a pad on it. Klinkhammer. Moss. And finally it comes to a Flame, and Calgary able to clear the zone as the Coyotes really bringing it to the Flames right now. The pressure seeming to be on Calgary.
And you expect that. You're down 3-1 to start the period. You have to come out on the road and try to make things happen and try to get your skating games going. They've done a pretty good job of that and succeeded what they wanted to, at least get to within 1.
Ekman Larsson, I'm not sure he's gone off the ice here in the third period. He's been out there for a great deal of it. Finds Rundblad, his pass by Schwartz. Brody ahead. Hudler knocks it down at the center line and knocked out of the air. Nice play by Rundblad. But Backlund brings it in, and a hard shot on Smith. He'll knock it down, and he's going to freeze it as the Flames trying to answer back. Up by 1 at the third. Calgary looking for a home win.
The captain, Shane Doan, picks up his 14th of the year. Needs 2 more assists for 500 career assists, and there's 1,284 career games, all with the Winnipeg Jets. Phoenix Coyotes, and has loved to play against the Flames. 17 goals and 47 points in 63 games. He did get the game winner in the 6-0 game, winning off his chest. Probably one of the ugliest goals he's ever scored, but he's definitely going to take it. And when you play as long and you're dedicated as he is, you're entitled to those ugly ones every once in a while.
7th overall pick in 1995 by the Winnipeg Jets. Mark Giordano trying to get it to the front, but can't. Hustles back, finds it, spies an opening, and it's Brody, his partner. For Yuri Hudler, kicks it to Backlund. He kicks it back to Hudler. Here's Giordano. Goes wide. Traffic in front of Smith. Giordano still with it. And it's tipped away. Brody switching spots with Giordano, who jumped into the rush, and the captain back to play defense. Flames need to keep moving the puck forward. Play in the offensive zone for a while as the Coyotes have taken advantage of some good offensive time here in the third period. Ekman-Larsson. There's Korpikoski over to pick it up. 3-2, the Flames up, 7:55 to go here in the third period. Coyotes out shooting Calgary 30-25. 4th of 5 meetings this year between the clubs. Second and final meeting here in Calgary. Yandel can't get his shot through, and Boma looking for Stajan, pass not near him, and it's an icing call. Our game review is brought to you by Intact Insurance. Your home, your auto, your business. Ask your broker about Intact Insurance Company.
Something we haven't seen in a long time, a consistent early jump. First period goals in the last 3 straight. Unfortunately, they gave up a shorthanded to Vermette, his 20th career shorthanded goal in the second period. Matt Stajan is proving his worth. 2 goals in his last 3 games. And the Flames have themselves a 1-goal lead here. No surprise, right?
Flames have already played 29 one-goal games this year. New Jersey's played more. Ribeiro now will face off against Boma. Boma just latches on. Verbata in to try and dig it free. Puck comes to the point. Morris is there. Verbata and a sharp angled shot. Ramo has it in the trapper. He'll hang on.
Good adjustment on that face-off, and then a scrambly play. Verbata lets it go very quickly, trying to, again, when you're a goal scorer like he is, you're just trying to get anything at the net and try to get yourself back into the good books as far as the offense. Ramo not cheating off that wall at all.
Yandel keeping it alive offensively, at least momentarily, for the Coyotes. Back and forth we go. Doan, shot, blocked, rebound to Verbata. He'll come back to the point. Yandel is there. Quickly over to Morris. Shot blocked by Boma. That's Boma. Leads the Flames in block shots by forwards and is just fearless in doing so. This one chops and rolls down the ice, and an icing call coming up. Thought it might take a hop, a bounce towards Smith and negate it. It didn't.
It hopped off the side of the net. That's Boma. Yeah, that hurts. That really hurts. But I'm okay. And plus I have to stay out here as he gets, here's that shot so close off the side of the net. Pad of Smith jammed against the post, the wall.
And a timeout has been called by Calgary.
Well, just to give them a little bit of rest. Right. And fortunately for Bob Hartley too, he's got a pretty good line out there defensively with Jones, Stajan, and Boma as far as being responsible defensively. So just, you get that extra 30 seconds of timeout, another 15 or 20 seconds to get to the box, another 15 or 20 to get set up. So that extra minute and 30 seconds really helps out on a timeout.
2 of the top teams in the Western Hockey League battle it out this Sunday when the Calgary Hitmen take on the Edmonton Oil Kings, 4 p.m. in the Cardale Homes Minor Hockey Night game. For tickets, go to hitmanhockey.com or call 403-777-4646.
Calgary Flames scoring 3 goals in regulation at home for the first time since December 23rd. The last time they scored 4 goals at home was a 4-1 win over Phoenix on December 4th. Vermette in to take the draw with Stajan. Bodker has it. Korpikoski tied up by Butler. Back to the point. Rundblad shot and off the blocker of Ramo. Ekman-Larsson back to Rundblad. Into the middle, tipped wide. Butler gets to it. Has some room. Off the glass, but not out. And it's gloved ahead. And the whistle called by Mike Civic on the far side saw it, so it'll come back out. Flames catch a break.
A little bit of height opportunity. Here's the glove by Ekman Larsson, and then Lukowski touches it first. So a little bit of a break there. Again, just to slow this game down a little bit. And not to the point you want to sit back and try to protect the one goal lead. You still have to be very aggressive offensively as long as you have one player back defensively.
Morris dumping it in. Weidman out there for Calgary. Monahan up to Joe Colborne. Looking for Gagliardi. Passed by him, and it's played by Morris. Back to the line. Flames jump on it. Monahan away. Working on Morris. Shot. Smith has it. He'll hang on to it. Mike Smith seems to be catching more, holding on to more here in the third period than perhaps he did in the first 40 minutes.
Second period, I thought he had 4 or 5 great saves, and right here, just a miscommunication. Who was going to keep that puck in offensively for the Phoenix Coyotes? And it's all about moving your feet. Defensively, the Flames, you think you're doing a good job defensively, but you're stationary. You're almost zone protecting your area, and that's where you have to keep moving your feet, because on an offensive team like Phoenix, when they're moving, they're skating, they're getting to those loose pucks.
Ekman Larsson misfires. Hudler comes over, ties him up. Puck squeezes to the point, and Schwartz is there. Brought across the line by Chip Chura. McCulloch. Down low, Schwartz. Checked by Weidman. Puck played to the point, but not out. Schmid will come over for Calgary. Can't get it by Halpern. Comes back to Ladislav Schmid. Schmid and Backlund come together, but slowed down in the process, and the puck comes to Chipchura. Trying to play it out in front. It hits Schmid. Out and into the slot area. Ramos down. Again, Mike Civic saying the puck was gloved ahead. Weidman's down, but no damage done. It's Telus, Flames hockey.
Immediately following our game, another edition of Connected. Carolyn Cameron and George Popoulos are standing by with this preview.
Oh, how, I tell you, she came so close, Jeannie Bouchard. Canada's got a great one, a bright one on the women's tennis tour in Jeannie Bouchard.
What great experience she developed over this Australian Open. Didn't come away with the win, but at such a young age and playing so hard and getting that experience will be very valuable for her.
Well, she's got 2 more majors before the Rogers Cup in her home province of Quebec coming up in August, and you know that's going to be something special. Flames trying to author something special here late in the third period, up by 1 on the Coyotes. Ribeiro finds Doan, the goal scorer here in the third period. That shot off of Chris Butler. Who else? The Flames' leading shot blocker. Ribeiro, watched by 2 Flames, turns, goes off a stick into the corner. Chris Russell comes over. A little help from Lee Stempniak to Stajan. Can't get it by Ribeiro. Coyotes have it, but heading off for a line change. Again, Flames with a chance to clear, don't.
That's where the confidence level has to be at its best, that you know you're going to get that puck out. And it was a good play defensively to get it almost to the blue line, but get it out to force the Coyotes to at least get out and regroup.
Yandel leading the rush. His shot goes off a body. Less than 4 minutes to go here in the third period. Bodker check. Stempniak to Backlund. Ahead. Oh, Yuri Hudler looking for the breakaway pass. Caught a piece of it, but not enough of it. Now trying to get around Yandel. Does. Spots Colborne off the bench. Joe Colborne trying to walk in and use his reach. Colborne scored his first goal as a Flame against Phoenix October 23rd in Glendale. If I remember correctly, it was a breakaway in which he used his reach.
To the forehand.
To the forehand.
Definitely a lot of a reach there.
Smith out to play it away from 2 Flame forecheckers. Schwartz, though, misses on the pass to Chipchura. Butler back to get it. 3:15 to go here in the third period. Ekman Larsson can't hold the line. Chipchura there. Pushed by Monahan, who finds Butler. Russell. Back to Butler. David Jones out on the ice. And Ekman Larsson taking it away. Finds Rundblad. Touch pass ahead. Schwartz keeps it moving forward. Gains the line. Going wide on Russell. Back to the veteran Halpern. Chipchura along the boards. Gains some room down low, and the pass skips over Ekman Larsson's stick. Chipchura's there. Takes a bump. Jones can't get it out. It bounces at the line, and Rundblad will play it out. Brought in offside, so the Flames get a face-off with 2:27 to go in the third.
Good chance to regroup a little bit and try to make something happen here. You can see defensive coverage by the Flames. Pretty well zone defense where they're trying to keep everybody away from the front of the net, the dangerous scenarios, but it's a lot more difficult against a team like Phoenix because they orchestrate their defensemen into the play so often. You can't just fall back to the front. You've got to make sure you keep an eye on guys like Ekman Larsson, Morris, Yandel, guys that can put the puck in the net.
Morris pass ahead, but Calgary comes up with the puck. Giordano gets to Brody. Coyotes are caught offside, so Flames gain some real estate that way. Lead pass to the blue line of the Coyotes, but taken away. Phoenix has the puck in their own end. Doan. Morris has it. Ribeiro into the Calgary end. Hooks it to Verbata. Brody working on Doan. Nice work by the Flames defenseman. And Stempniak out to center. Minute 45 to go. We'll watch Mike Smith. Yandel back to pick it up. Gets away from the check from Blair Jones. Monahan out there too. Gagliardi can't knock it down. Ribeiro with it. Turns. Still has it. The net now empty as Smith heads off. Here's Monahan. Empty net. Shoots. Misses. Chance to salt it away. A minute 15 to go. Extra attacker on the ice for the Coyotes. Gagliardi swing and a miss. Comes to Ekman Larsson, and he hits David Moss with a shot. Yandel shoots, looking for the tip. Nobody home. Ekman Larsson. Minute to go. Behind the net. Bodker after it. Back to the point. Yandel has it. Ekman Larsson shoots. Knocked down Monahan. He's been out there for a while. Plays it off the glass and out with 48.1 seconds to go.
Oh boy, how bad does he want that one back? And again, this is learning experience. A 19-year-old kid. I don't think he realized he had so much time and space. Plus he had Blair Jones off to his left as that puck turns over, and this is what you want, an empty netter. Right there, he almost stumbled as he let that shot go. Missed it wide to the right. Right here, he could have kept on going. You see Blair Jones off to the left, so lots of space as Dave Tippett calls his timeout with the goaltender pulled. Face off to the left of Ramo.
Oh, Phoenix took their time in calling their timeout. Chris Rooney had to come over and just confirm with Dave Tippett that he wanted the 30 seconds.
As all the players just mingle right away, and then there's no motion that it's going to be a timeout. So again, it's all about timing. At the time the referee skates there, you get an extra 15 seconds. By the time you get things called up, do you want to call it? Do you want to not call it? And it was quite obvious he needed to call it to rest his guys that were out there offensively and set up plays.
Face off, very critical. It goes without saying. Curious to see who Bob Hartley throws out there to take the draw. Matt Stajan on the ice, along with Lance Boma and Lee Stempniak. So Stajan will take it against Vermette. Antoine Vermette comes into this game 9th overall in face-off percentage in the National Hockey League. Continually one of the league's best, but the Flames win the draw. Will they get it out? They flip it ahead. It bounces right across the blue line. Avoid the icing. There's Ekman Larsson now. Swings it ahead to Yandel. He plays it in. Under 35 to go here in the third period. Flames up by 1. Net empty for the Coyotes. Stempniak stick smashed, I should say, and it's broken. He'll head off for a new one. Now Ribeiro goes wide. Back to the point. Yandel shoots. That one goes to the corner. Off the glass by Giordano. Is it enough for icing? The arm's in the air. And it is. It's coming back.
Just not enough hang time on that puck. Lee Stepniak complaining that his stick slashed out of his hand. Not only slashed, but broken. Now they'll have a quick check, which could be the advantage to the Flames. I thought they were going to check the time. Bob Hartley would be good to have him check it now, take a couple extra seconds.
Yeah, as soon as that whistle went on the icing, the Coyotes players on the ice were pointing at the score clock, wanting to make sure that they got their fair share of time. 10.5 on the clock. Face-off to the left of Kari Ramo. Stajan wins it clean. Back to Brody. Does misfires. Giordano trying to dig it free. Verbata with it. Shoots. Ramo makes the stop. Where is it? A pile up in front of the Flames netminder. Oh, it's just never easy around here, is it, Charlie?
Keep the fans in the seats. Definitely, that's what you want to do as the Flames do not get that puck out. And Matt Stajan's done a great job on Vermette on face-offs. They get control of it again. Snap, miss, get it back. Verbata gets it, and this is the only thing he can do is get it at the net hard. You can see everybody just driving hard to the net. Shane Doan, Kari Ramo, so strong. Right there, that's it's taken its effect there as far as such a big game for Ramo in between the pipes.
1.7 seconds to go as Vermette lines up his shooters. Shane Doan just in behind Vermette, tucked to the left side, to the right side. Oliver Ekman-Larsson staging the opponent in the face-off circle. Down goes the puck. Flames have it, and a 3-2 win in regulation for Calgary. They snap a 7-game home slide with an impressive victory over the Coyotes.
Huge win for the Flames. They knew Phoenix was going to come out hard. They were going to be aggressive in the third period. They weathered the storm, and now we're talking about building confidence. 4 more games to go in this homestand. You started off with a big win. It's a big plus.
Calgary hanging on for a 3-2 win over the Phoenix Coyotes at the Dome.
TELUS Flames Hockey on Sportsnet. Brought to you by TELUS. The future is friendly.
TELUS Flames Hockey is back in 48 hours as the Flames will host the Nashville Predators Friday night, 7 p.m. Mountain. This is on our Sportsnet Flames channel. Tonight at Scotiabank Saddledome, the Flames came out looking to break a slide on home ice. Got a good start early, added a couple of goals in period number 2, including the game winner for Matt Stajan. Calgary records a victory as they knock off Phoenix 3-2 as Connected is next.